Ian put some floodproofing techniques to the test in St. Augustine. Following hurricanes in 2016 and 2017, the city has implemented ways to keep rising water at bay. Well, some of them worked during Ian, some of them did not. I talked with the city manager about the hits and the misses. Since Hurricanes Matthew and Irma hit in 2016 and 2017, the city of St. Augustine has ramped up its efforts to keep rising water from damaging the area. But did those efforts work during Ian? First up, the wastewater treatment plant. It flooded during Matthew, and since then, temporary 5-foot barrier walls were installed around critical parts of the plant right before a storm. How did that work?
Fantastic.
The plant remained dry, but the walls really weren't put to the test much with Ian.
In this case, we didn't have a lot of surge around the plant.
Also, there are lift stations all around town which direct sewage water to the wastewater treatment plant. And Matthew, many of those stations flooded and stopped working, sending sewage into homes and roads. Since then, the city, with FEMA money, has elevated and advanced many of those lift stations, and they worked during Ian.
They did the job that they were designed to do.
The city of St. Augustine also tried out something new. Right before Ian, they put out an inflatable tube called a tiger dam to add 2 feet of height to the low section of the downtown seawall, but it did not work.
It didn't do well on the water. When the water was outgoing, there wasn't enough structural support to it, and it flopped around. It wasn't very successful.
It did not keep the water out.
No.
Another relatively new project, a new wall and larger pipes installed at Coquina Park in the Davis Shores area. It was aimed at reducing flooding. It worked, but
it protects to a certain level, but when the surge is higher than all the land and higher than seawalls and behind houses, the neighborhood floods.
Many homes in the neighborhood still flooded.
But does it keep the street from flooding again and again through the following days of high tide cycles? Yes, it does that.
Still, there are lessons to learn, especially when there is heartache and hundreds of households that lost their belongings to the floodwaters inside their homes. What are you walking away going, next time we got to do this?
Next time we have to work more on the evacuation. And we also have to work harder on helping these grant applications to elevate homes be successful. And we also have to work harder at giving people the practical tools that they can do to safeguard their home.
Practical tools to safeguard your home. So, of course, the question is, well, what are those? And the city manager said, for example, instead of relying so much on sandbags, really encourage people to invest, if they can, in a door dam that would solidify that door and keep water coming in to that structure. He said they run about $500.